Welcome to Immigration Invasion, a podcast where immigration attorneys discuss the absurd and ridiculous aspects of immigration law in the U.S. So let's start out with, what kind of name is Immigration Invasion?
Yeah, that's definitely the first question, right? So, I mean, I think that this is a way for us to, first of all, take back the word invasion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is it always in like such a negative tone, right? Like, oh, all these people are coming here and invading and taking our resources.
Invasions can be fun.
Yes, they can be fun, you know?
Absolutely. And so that was kind of the idea with us. You know, we had more stuffy kind of the Immigration Daily Herald kind of concepts for names, but that doesn't really capture what we want to do, and so there's a little bit of brevity, a little bit of lightheartedness, tongue-in-cheek with the name, but given how serious and hostile immigration topics can generally be right now, I thought it was needed.
Yeah, I agree. So next question, who the heck are we? Good question.
Yeah.
So I'll start. My name is Asma. I have been practicing in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I've been practicing exclusively immigration law for about 12 years. I primarily handle kind of complex removal defense, some crimmigration, and some affirmative stuff like adjustments of statuses and naturalizations and all of that good stuff. And I'll pass it over to Robert.
I'm Robert Armstrong. You guys may recognize me from the GECU Savings Challenge from El Paso, Texas in 2000. Nobody does.
Oh my gosh, that's where I knew you.
Yeah,
oh my
gosh, that was me. I've been. Yeah, no, absolutely no one said that. So I am also an immigration attorney. I do just immigration law, focused on asylum, removal defense. I'll do some business, family stuff, but I don't do any criminal stuff, and I don't do detained work. And once anything gets kind of weird or creamy or whatever, send them to Asma.
Yeah, and whenever I hear the word asylum, I send them to Robert. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a little toxic of us. I don't know, but that's, I don't want this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, we all have, things that are more within our comfort level than others. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's good to do that, right? We all have aspects of the law, the immigration sphere that we just won't touch. And I think the more the attorneys that are most dedicated to quality will kind of know their limits and know what they can do most zealously.
Absolutely. I agree. So, okay, what the heck is our goal with this podcast?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I mean, I think the world needed one more podcast. I think there weren't enough. I looked and it was there were one short. Here it is. You guys, you're welcome.
Yeah. There was a deficit of podcasts. That's really what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was too low. We were too low. So I think the goal with this is to highlight the absurdity and some of the ridiculousness that's going on with immigration nowadays, right?
Yeah.
And it's such a serious and angry and contentious topic that I didn't want to do another podcast with that same tone. Our day-to-day work is like that. So we needed the outlet. We really did, right? And I think the format of this is probably best described as a phone call between me and you, except we're on camera.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I would describe it. So Robert and I, we kind of do a weekly vent session. And so this is just our vent session. Yep. Made available to the public.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we'll touch a little bit more about what's in the vent session. But, who doesn't like a good vent session?
Exactly. I know, I love it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll also do some explaining. We'll also, allow an analysis of the law, and also bring in some of our friends to help us out. But I think overall, we just want this to be a fun thing to listen to, interesting and fun place to discuss immigration.
Absolutely, and to provide some comic relief in an area where you normally don't get much comic relief.
Yeah.
So,
agreed. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the next question is, who the heck should give a crap about this podcast?
Yeah. I mean, that's, again, with there being so few podcasts for people to choose from, what's one more? I think this is for attorneys, right? Other attorneys are listening, and, there's going to be informative aspects of what we talk about. But I think there's just not a lot of places to have these conversations with this tone.
Absolutely.
As an attorney, because we're incentivized to seem, omniscient and perfect all the time. And, I promise you guys that this podcast will be imperfect. Well, this will be a non-perfect podcast.
Absolutely. We are not hiding any of the bloopers.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah, they will all be on camera for you guys to display.
Absolutely.
On display for you guys. So,
But we need that, though, right?
We do. We do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like we need some comic relief. Absolutely.
Yeah. So and that's what attorneys will get out of it. But for just like regular Joes, right, or Jose's, or Johans, I mean, so on and so forth. Sometimes they just want to know what's actually going on with immigration.
Yeah. And
they might hear a news story, or somebody, around the way told them, someone's auntie told them this or that about immigration. And then, they're like, I heard blah, blah, blah. And it's completely off base, right?
Yeah.
And they're well-meaning. They just want to be educated. But I'm like, no, I promise you, they're not riding zebras across the border. I promise you, right? So, this podcast gives them an opportunity to learn a little bit more about immigration, but at a tone that's, less stuffy, stifling than what you might normally expect to get from attorneys.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Just kind of easily digestible.
Yes. Easily like zebra meat.
Yes, like zebra meat.
Well, that's not true. That is not true.
Yeah, we're actually not sure. Yes, neither one of us has had zebra
It might be true. I don't know. It might or might not.
Yeah, we don't know.
Depends.
It depends. It depends.
It
okay.
depends.
So, what the heck is this podcast even about? So, this is I think for me, like when we sat down and we decided to do this, we wanted to have a podcast where we highlight some of the movers and shakers, people that we think are the movers and shakers in the immigration law world. And we want to sit down and talk to them and have it be like lighthearted and funny, but like also, kind of find out why they're so awesome at what they do.
Yeah. And it's even just in Dallas, right? Because right now that's where our sphere of influence is for now.
Yeah.
Is here in Dallas, but the immense talent that we have in the immigration attorney field is humbling, frankly.
Oh yeah.
You've got people that are doing things in ways that I would have never thought of, and I know you and I discussed that it'd be great to just sit them down and say, hey, like not just what do you do, but how did you do that?
Yeah.
How'd you pull that off?
Absolutely. I am I'm like really excited about we're gonna have invaders. That's what we're gonna call them. We're gonna have invaders.
We're going with this theme, folks.
Yeah.
We're sticking with the theme.
You can't change our minds.
Absolutely.
We have a logo in production.
We sent the logo off to Fiverr, and then we send it off to Vistaprint to print out some free business cards, so it's done.
It is done. You're not gonna change our minds.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's kind of do a run through of what like each episode is gonna look like.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, in all honesty, we haven't ironed out all the details. We don't know if this is gonna be bi-weekly. We don't know if this is gonna be monthly.
Might be in Spanish, might be in Urdu.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? We haven't ironed out all the details, but we do have some ideas on like reoccurring segments, which we want to talk about. So I think firstly, it's just gonna be like kind of naturally how Robert and I just talk on the phone. So like first question, how was your week?
Yeah.
And if you're an immigration lawyer, I mean, boy, your weeks are just like varying degrees of crazy.
Yeah.
And so that's really what that segment is going to be about. Robert and I are just going to talk about the varying degrees of crazy of our weeks.
It may quite possibly be the craziest segment consistently.
Yeah,
right? 'Cause,
absolutely. It will be I agree. I think it will be the most consistent crazy segment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that because, like you said, our vent sessions usually involve at least, a good 15 to 20 minutes of, either a weird potential client or client interaction or weird interaction with one of the agencies of the government. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And then, and I think another segment, so, normally, breaking news, right? Breaking news. This segment is going to be called Broken News because how broken our immigration system is. And we're just going to talk about just kind of unclogging it, really.
Yeah, absolutely. and, as news comes out, I think there is just the way that the media presents it's all about getting clicks. It's all about just getting people to stay glued to whatever device that they're looking at.
Yeah.
But there's just not a lot of information. So they'll talk about a new policy or some new statistics, and they'll throw it out without context or with the wrong kind of context, like unprecedented levels of. It's always unprecedented, right? And sometimes you just need to know, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think that will be a good recurring segment for us. And God knows there's just always news on immigration.
Yeah. I mean,
constantly changing.
I'm just gonna throw out a date. November 2016. Since November 2016.
Very random date there.
Random date. I just put it in my head. It just spun around. That's what came out. Since November 2016, every time a news story, quote unquote, breaks, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, right? Like now it's like it's I'm going to break every time there's a new immigration story. So I think that's where making it from a breaking news to broken news makes the most sense for me.
Absolutely. And you know what? This is all a very good segue into our next reoccurring segment. So if you are a brown immigrant, this box right here has some special meaning and some very special trauma for all of us. And so if
I'm tearing up right now.
Right. And so if you don't know what I'm talking about, so you're a brown kid, live in a brown household.
You have the munchies.
And you go searching around your house for something like delicious to eat. And you find this, and it's usually hidden.
It's in a closet. It's not in the pantry, but so.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cookies.
It's cookies. And so, of course, your parents would hide cookies from you, right? And so, you get excited, you open it up, and lo and behold, it is freaking sewing supply.
It's sewing kit. That's not cookies.
Yeah. And so, Robert, why don't you explain what this segment is called and what this is?
So we came up with the hit it or kit, right? So instead of, for those of you that listened, a lot to radio in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s before it died, they had a lot of segments where they played new music and you liked it or you didn't like it. Hit it or quit it. Well, this is hit or kit. And we're going to use that same concept, but for new rules, new laws, new proposals in immigration. And I think it's necessary because, once again, these proposals oftentimes are really opaque. It's really fuzzy what it's actually doing. And, who's going to explain it? You go to the news and they're not splainers. They're not going to explain anything to you. So we'll do that. And if it's something that we think is good, then we hit it. And if not, then it's the kit. It's the sewing kit. Looks good. Open it up. It's not tasty. Yeah.
I'm going to wager a guess here and say that it's going to be mostly kits.
Oh, yeah. But it's just like when you were little.
Yeah. You don't know. You have to take the chance to open it.
Yeah. I mean, because really, the only time that it was cookies was during Christmas.
Yeah.
So statistically speaking, I'm no mathematologist, but that's what, 1 in 12.
Yeah.
Right? Like December is the only time that there was going to be cookies. The rest of the year was going to be a sewing kit.
Honestly, in my household, it was not even Christmas. It was after Christmas because that's when the sales hit.
well, I mean,
it was January 1st.
Yeah, technically, I mean, they call it Boxing Day in Europe. I'm like, you know what? It is. The happiest time of the year, especially as an adult. Like as a kid, you're like Christmas. As an adult, you're like, I'm about to hit the clearance.
Yep.
Clearance section. And you can catch the returns fresh out the hands of the salespeople. Like, that shirt kind of fits me, and it's $2. Mine.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, with how... I'm just gonna say goofy. How goofy the rules and proposals for immigration are, and then how they try to put these names on them and make it sound. This sounds so delicious, so warm.
Yeah.
Keeping families together.
Oh my God, I love families and I love togetherness.
Oh, let's keep them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they open the and yeah, there's for this one there were a couple cookies, you know, but mostly sewing kit.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that's kind of what we want to pull apart for that segment.
I think it's going to be fun. And okay. And something I'm super excited about is actually we're going to have some guests, y'all, on this pod. It's not just going to be us, okay? Yeah. I mean, I know we look great, we're fabulous, but it's not just going to be us.
Right.
We are going to have some invaders.
Absolutely.
That's what we call our guests on this podcast.
They are our guest invaders.
You're not going to change your mind.
Nope.
We decided the theme is invasion, so we're going to go with it.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our spouses already okayed it. Our kids are going to hate it no matter what, so...
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Guest invaders. So, I mean, well, why have guest invaders, and why not just us monologuing the whole time?
So I think because, immigration law is such, there are so many people that with like varying like little expertise areas within immigration law. And so, you know, Robert and I have our respective areas where we have expertise in that specific area. But I think it's important for us to kind of highlight attorneys that have expertise in areas that maybe we're not familiar with, or other immigration attorneys aren't familiar with.
Yeah.
So,
and I think a key part of the practice, to being good at the practice, is learning to identify people that are better than you at certain things, and then tapping them as resources.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to be looking for people that are up and comers, movers, shakers. Pick your corporate.
Yes.
Rock stars.
Rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our goal is to try to find those people, and most of them, we'll be honest with you, are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area because that's where we're located. But eventually, we'll take over the whole world. Maybe the multiverse. This is
an invasion.
It's an invasion.
It starts here, but it's gonna.
Yes.
Yeah.
A friendly invasion.
It's a very friendly invasion.
The best kind.
Exactly. So let's talk about our future invasion episodes. So, Robert, why don't you tackle like the first 3 that we came up with, and I'll do the last 3.
All right. Awesome. So the first one is assemble your crew. And so this, credit goes to Asma for coming up with the name for this, based off of one of the, preeminent minds, comedy minds of the early 2000s, David Chappelle, right?
Yes, David Chappelle.
Had an episode on his show where Charlie Murphy was playing basketball, and then Prince comes out and he challenges Prince, right? And then Prince looks at him, takes the challenge, and he goes, "Assemble your crew." I'm like, that's perfect.
It was great. It's a great episode.
Yeah,
it's a great episode. And spoiler alert: Prince wins. Turns out this guy can ball.
Prince can ball. Yeah, Prince has skills. He has mean crossover.
Yeah.
But I think the idea behind it, though, right, is part of what's behind this podcast.
Yeah.
It's like, man, there's so many people that are awesome at what they do in our field. It doesn't make sense not to take advantage, not to connect with them, not to plug in to people in the community and ball out.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
So the next one we were thinking about is, the more I look at this name, I'm like, maybe I went too far, but I think it fits. I think it fits.
I do.
You smart for real, though. You smart for real, and the reason you smart for real, though, is because there are some brilliant immigration attorneys and
like crazy, like legal minds, like like they can read something so complicated and then just like dumb it down for everyone else.
Yeah,
and it's just like, whoa.
Yeah, and that ain't me. That is not yours truly.
That is not me either.
Yeah, and so seeing them operate in court, reading some of the things that they write, whether it be, articles or even some of just their filings in court, we're astounded. And for the most part, I feel like, we as attorneys know who these guys are.
Yeah.
It's just known to be really smart. And I think the best way to know that you've talked to somebody like that, if after coming away from them, you're like, I'm not smart at all. Yeah, absolutely. That's when you've met someone like that. Yeah, smart for real, though. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the last one that I'm going to talk about is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And there are, again, some practitioners in the DFW that are doing several things and doing it really, really well, right? This is not for the approximate knowledge in all things type of people. Like, it's you're really good at several things, and we want to talk to them and just figure out how'd you do it. Like, what is it that what's the plan? What's the skill that you have that allows you to do it? But some of the practitioners that we know are really good immigration attorneys, also, own their own business, so they're business people, also might be teaching classes at one of the local schools,
running for office.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Fighting crime as nope, that's not on the list. That's different list. Sorry.
Defending Gotham.
Yeah, exactly. Bruce Wayne as immigration attorney.
Yeah, exactly. But that is going to be an interesting one, because honestly, I can barely function with taking care of a child and running my practice. So I would love to hear how these attorneys do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm an ideas person. I can come up with any idea anytime.
Yeah.
Great concept, and I, execute about 10% of any of my ideas. So, when you see people that are so high functioning and making things actually happen.
Yeah.
I want to just take them apart, and just find out how did you do that? What's in there? Yeah. Not in a murdery way, calm down.
Yes, we will take them apart in a non-murdery way.
Yes.
We promise.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
Yes. Okay, so I will kind of take over now and talk about the next three that we're going to do. So one is going to be, this one I'm very excited about, Meet the Inner Circle. So Robert and we've been practicing for a while now in DFW, and we've made friends with a lot of people, but there are some that are part of what we consider our inner circle.
Yes.
And what we mean by inner circle, I think, to us is just people we vent to, we bounce ideas off. If Robert and I ever ended up in removal proceedings, these would be the peoples whose numbers we have that we remember that we'd call.
That's my call.
That would actually pick up. And so, And so I think it's going to be a great episode. And I hope, too, that, for some of the younger attorneys, maybe that don't have an inner circle, I hope that it's something that can kind of help them try to make friends or try to reach out and create their inner circle. Because it's so important. It is so important if you're a solo practitioner.
It is incredibly important, and also something that seems unintuitive, given the way we're taught as attorneys, to be, geniuses, independent geniuses, the intellectual,
Yeah.
And so it's kind of isolating doing this work. That social aspect really can go away really quickly if you don't work to do it. But I think the episode is going to do a good job of explaining the value of having your inner circle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. and how to find your inner circle. Like,
Yes.
I think that's like something that people really struggle with, they just, they're maybe they're even part of a firm, but like, the firm does other things and they're like the sole immigration attorney. And so I think that we can kind of get into a lot of that in the episode. So hopefully this will help with some of the younger attorneys.
Yeah. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Okay. The one after that, I think, will be briefing and brief. So this, I think, is going to be very interesting. We want to talk to somebody who is like a badass brief writer.
Mm-hmm.
Brief writing is a skill. It is an art.
It is.
And gosh, like there's some attorneys that are of the mindset that you have to brief every single thing, right? And then a lot of important questions. How brief should be your brief?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, and so I think we'll tackle a lot of those kinds of questions on that episode.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is important because it's a very delicate balance. You do when you do write briefs, you obviously want them to be substantive.
Yeah.
But immigration law is an area where you have diminishing returns on how, on complexity and legal acumen in your writing. And it's very easy to go deeper than the adjudicator is able to really understand in brief writing if you don't have that touch. So, we definitely, want to bring in some guys or some people that are artists.
Yes.
Brief artists.
Brief artists. Yes. Yes. Okay. And then the last one, this, we gotta do huge disclaimer here, okay? This is like where when you're watching that commercial about medication and it all looks like very good, people are at a picnic, it all looks really fun, and then they start talking about the disclaimers, okay? So I'm gonna start
about
with
immigration invasion.
Yeah. So, huge disclaimer, we don't know whether or not we're gonna actually be successful, no guarantee that we're gonna actually be successful on getting someone on this episode.
Yep.
But I think between Robert and I, we do know some people who are former government employees with DHS, and so we would love to have an episode where we kind of talk about, we're gonna call it spilling iced tea.
Yeah.
Where we talk about maybe some of the inner workings and get some tips and get some tea.
Yeah, that's the goal. We cannot guarantee results, obviously, but I think really just to be honest with you, depending on who wins in November, that's probably going to determine how successful we are there.
Yeah.
But man, there's some great insight to be found from talking to somebody that has worked on the other side or is working on the other side. We can blur out their face and do one of those little voice changers.
Oh yeah, like one of the voice changers.
I am an attorney for ICE, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll figure it out. There's tons of features on these computers nowadays.
Yeah,
But the insight that they could give us is awesome because, there's the stuff that this is what it must be like, working for ICE. But there's a lot of things behind the scenes that go into how they make decisions, who they decide to go against and put in proceedings, and then just procedurally what their job is like on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And also, like, I think basic things like, when an attorney is emailing, requesting PD, how do they want to see a PD request? What helps them, how they want it organized, just things like that I think would be very helpful.
Yeah. So really excited about that. And we are fortunate enough in the Dallas area to have, a pretty good relationship with people that are in working for DHS and having a couple of kind of high profile people that were at DHS and now have recovered. No, I can't. So I think that would be. Those are going to be good episodes if we're able to land the bird.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Again, like we said, we have a lot of details to kind of iron out here, but we are super excited about this. Please share. If you guys have like ideas for like future episodes, hit us up, please.
Yeah.
But again, this is supposed to be fun, funny, lighthearted.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, right? Like, you know, we're kind of obligated, you know, by our marketing people to like say, hey, please follow us, you know, please, you know, go to our website and, you know, watch these videos all the way, you know, for marketing reasons. But again, we're just doing this because we want to. That's the best thing about this. We're only doing this because we want to. And all of the other stuff just comes later. So you know, how many subscribers we have and all that other stuff is very secondary to making a place where we can have these discussions, inform people a little bit, enjoy ourselves, and just invade your ears.
Yeah, invade your ears.
No, that's not good. That's not good. I didn't say that. So I hope we get you guys to listen in, and we make this a podcast that you guys are eager to listen to, and you know, we're the last podcast that was missing out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy to fill that void.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, tune in to the Immigration Invasion podcast. We'll be putting this content out regularly, and stay tuned for exactly what platforms, how to listen, how to download, etc. But thanks for tuning in.